So if you're looking for a cheap iPhone to get, then the iPhone SE 2022 is certainly one of the most affordable devices in Apple's lineup, but it does come with some limitations in terms of hardware and software features. But yeah, maybe you're on the fence about getting one and you're thinking if you should pay money for this device. Well, let's go over some of the specs that you can expect with the iPhone SE 2022 in 2024. Let's get started. Now, we have covered a ton of different iPhones on this channel before, so if you want to check those out, feel free to go over the videos here on TeamVRY. But if you really want to know more about the iPhone SE 2022, then do stick around for the rest of this video and we'll go over some of the key factors to consider with the iPhone SE 2022. Right, so first off, let's start with the design of the phone. One of the key defining aspects of the iPhone SE series is that it comes with older hardware designs, as seen on the first generation iPhone SE and the iPhone SE2. And of course, the iPhone SE3 is no different. It features the classic look that we saw with the iPhone 8, especially with the smaller display, the large bezels, the classic home button, and a more portable form factor. Now, if you're someone who's really in love with the classic Apple iPhone design, then of course, there's a lot to like about the iPhone SE 2022, and as far as ergonomics go, it's a phone that you'll have no problem using single-handedly. With that said though, this classic and smaller design does mean that there are limitations to the phone's display. Now, unlike a lot of iPhones today which have full screen displays, the iPhone SE does have a smaller 4.7-inch display with a lower resolution, a slower 60Hz refresh rate, and it doesn't come with any OLED or AMOLED technology, so you're not getting the same user experience as you would get on a larger screened iPhone. Although on the flip side, it does feature decent viewing angles, and it is bright enough for most situations, even when outdoors. But again, based on hardware specs alone, the display on the iPhone SE 2022 is of course outdated at this point. And unless you're really confident that you don't want the larger full screen display iPhones, then this is your only option as far as brand new Apple hardware goes. Alright, so let's move on to performance, where there's a bit of silver lining with the iPhone SE 2022. It does come with the Apple A15 Bionic chip, which is the same chipset used in the iPhone 13, and for a pretty compact phone with an outdated design, it does come with some decent performance. Now, you're not going to get the same level of performance as on the newer iPhones, but the A15 Bionic chip, in my opinion, is one of the more dependable chips that Apple has put out, and for a majority of apps and tasks, you're not going to have a problem using the iPhone SE 2022. Now, if you're a more moderate user who just wants the basics like messaging, web browsing, social media apps, and maybe a bit of light gaming, then you're not going to have any trouble using the iPhone SE. On the other hand, if you're someone who wants to do a bit more gaming on their smartphone, then the SE might not be the best choice for you. But yeah, as far as performance goes, the iPhone SE 2022 will be able to handle all the essentials. You're also going to get access to some of the essential Apple software such as iMessage and FaceTime. And yeah, you're getting access to the Apple ecosystem for a relatively affordable price. Now, with that said, all this performance and software usage does mean a considerable amount of battery usage. Now, it's hard to speak for everyone in terms of battery performance on a smartphone, as each user is going to have different experiences, different apps and usage patterns. But in my case, the iPhone SE 2022 was able to last generally a day. But it should be mentioned that this is of course all with moderate use. If I use my phone for extended periods with data and GPS navigation, and of course running games on the SE 2022 will also of course drain the battery a bit faster. Again though, if you're someone who's after the basics, then it should be fine to last you an entire day without much fuss. Right, so the last point that I want to cover in this video is the camera performance. Now, this is a particular area where I think the iPhone SE comes at a disadvantage, as it features a very basic camera setup. So it's a single lens on the rear panel of the iPhone SE, in addition to a selfie camera up front. There's no telephoto lens here, there's no ultra-wide lens here, and there's no macro lens here. So in terms of camera usage, you are going to be a bit limited as to what the iPhone SE can do. And Apple has also decided not to include night mode on this phone, which I think is a pretty strange omission given that it's running the A15 Bionic inside. But yeah, for photography enthusiasts, it's not going to be the best phone out there. However, that's not to say that it takes terrible photos. You are going to be able to take good looking photos on the iPhone SE. It does come with great quality video recording. Again though, there's a lot of limitations when it comes to camera capabilities. So yeah, there's something to consider with this smartphone. Now, with all that said, is the iPhone SE worth it in 2024? Now, Apple does sell this phone at a starting price of $429 for the 64 gig model, but in this day and age, you should really go for the 128 gig model, although that will cost you a bit more at $479. With that said though, unless you're looking to stay in the Apple ecosystem, there are a ton of great Android smartphones out there, which come with better cameras, better display quality, such as the Pixel 7a for example. But of course, with the iPhone SE, you are getting a relatively cheap entry point into the Apple ecosystem. But on the other hand, it should also be said that you can get the iPhone 13 or iPhone 13 mini for cheaper these days, and those phones will come with better displays, faster Face ID unlock, a better camera hardware configuration, and in terms of hardware, they are definitely going to be better compared to the iPhone SE 2022. But again, if you're someone who's after the basics, a classic design, access to essential Apple software features, and a relatively affordable price, then by all means, go out and get this phone. Right guys, so that's all the time that we have for this quick video. Thanks a lot for checking it out, and feel free to watch our other videos here on TeamVRY. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.